They humiliated me at my brother's engagement, so I revealed I owned their company. The champagne flute slipped from her fingers and shattered at my feet. No one noticed at first. Laughter was too loud, music too bright, the room too busy celebrating my brother's future to care about the small disaster unfolding in front of me. I looked up slowly. My sister-in-law's cousin, red dress, sharp smile, was staring at me like she'd just seen a ghost wearing my face. Her phone was still glowing in her hand. I knew what she was reading, because my phone had buzzed a second earlier. I exhaled through my nose. Perfect timing. Across the hall, my brother raised his glass, arm around his fiancée, soaking in applause. My mother dabbed her eyes, proud and glowing. This night was supposed to be about them. Instead, it had become something else. I felt eyes on me now, curious, appraising, still amused. 10 minutes earlier, I'd been the joke, the quiet one in the corner, the unsuccessful brother, the one they whispered about when they thought I couldn't hear. I hadn't defended myself. I never do, because defense is for people without leverage. I bent down, picked up the largest shard of glass, and placed it gently on the table. The woman in red swallowed hard. Her smile was gone. She knew. And soon, everyone else would too. It started with a laugh, not cruel, not loud, just careless, the kind that assumes it's safe to mock someone because the room has already decided who matters. I had been standing near the bar when my brother's friend, finance guy, loud voice, cheap confidence, leaned toward me. "So," he said, grinning, "still doing whatever it is you do?" A few chuckles followed. I tilted my head, thought about answering. Didn't. Another voice joined in, a woman this time, my brother's fiancé's co-worker. "He's the mysterious one," she said, "always vague. You'd think at his age he'd have something solid going on." More laughter. Someone added, "At least he didn't embarrass himself by bringing a date." That one stung. Not because it was true, but because it was calculated. I felt it then. Not anger. Recognition. This wasn't harmless teasing, this was positioning, social hierarchy being reinforced in real time. And my brother, my own brother, smiled politely and looked away. That was the betrayal, small, quiet, surgical. I didn't expect him to defend me, but I had expected him not to enjoy it. He avoided my eyes, let them think I was less, let them think I didn't belong. I watched him carefully after that, noticed how he leaned into their approval, how he never corrected the stories they told about me, how he'd rewritten my silence into failure. That realization settled heavy in my chest, not heartbreak, something colder. Because this wasn't about money or success, it was about perception, and they had decided who I was without asking. I let them. Because sometimes the most powerful move is letting people underestimate you until they're standing too close to the edge. I didn't react. That's what unsettled them. People expect defensiveness, justification, anger. I gave them nothing. I sipped my drink, nodded when spoken to, smiled faintly when insulted. Inside, I was already moving pieces. I'd learned long ago that humiliation isn't something you escape, it's something you repurpose. I watched faces, listened to conversations, noted who laughed the loudest, who stayed quiet, who looked uncomfortable but said nothing. My brother's future father-in-law bragged about his role at the company, my company. He exaggerated, got details wrong. I almost corrected him. Almost. Instead, I asked a simple question. "Oh, you're still with them?" He nodded proudly. "Senior management." I filed that away. Another man mentioned a promotion he was waiting on. A woman complained about budget cuts. Each sentence fed me information. They had no idea who I was because I'd made sure they didn't. No LinkedIn photo, no public interviews, no press. Ownership through layers, trusts, silence. I'd learned early that anonymity is armor. I excused myself and stepped outside. Cold air, Quiet. My phone buzzed again, a message from my legal counsel. Everything is finalized. Majority control confirmed as of 7:42 p.m. I checked the time. 7:43. I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes, not to celebrate, to steady myself, because revenge isn't loud, it's precise. I went back inside. The music swelled. Toasts resumed. My brother caught my eye this time. There was something like guilt there, or maybe fear. I gave him a small nod, nothing more. Let the suspense breathe. The reveal didn't come with an announcement, no dramatic speech, just a question. The woman in red, my brother's fiancée's cousin, had cornered me near the dessert table. Her voice was tight. "You work with investments?" she asked. I smiled. "Something like that." Her eyes flicked to her phone again, back to me. "You wouldn't happen to know—" "Anything about—" I interrupted gently. "About the acquisition?" Her face drained of color. She whispered my name. The sound of it traveled. People turned. My brother stepped closer. "What acquisition?" he asked. I met his eyes for the first time all night. "The one involving your guests," I said calmly. Silence spread. I reached into my jacket and removed a single document, not the full contract, just the signature page. I slid it across the table. Names, logos, dates. My name at the bottom. Owner. Someone laughed nervously. "That's a joke." I shook my head. "No," I said softly. "This is the part where you realize it wasn't." The father-in-law stared at the paper. His hands trembled. This can't be right." "It is," I replied. "Effective immediately." My brother looked between us. Understanding dawned slowly, painfully. He opened his mouth, closed it again. For once, he had nothing to say. I didn't raise my voice, didn't accuse, didn't gloat. I simply told the truth. "You laughed at me," I said, eyes scanning the group. "You spoke about me like I was invisible." No one interrupted. "I let you," I continued, "because I wanted to see who you were when you thought there were no consequences." The finance guy avoided my gaze. The woman who mocked my single status stared at the floor. "I won't fire anyone tonight," I said calmly. "This isn't the place." A collective breath released. "But understand this," I added. "Everything you said, I heard." I turned to my brother. "You didn't defend me," I said quietly, "so I won't defend you." That hurt him more than anything else could have. I placed the document back into my jacket, straightened my cuffs. "I'm leaving," I said. "Enjoy the rest of your evening." No applause, no arguments, just shock. As I walked away, I felt something shift. Power. Not because I'd humiliated them, but because I'd chosen restraint. That's what broke them. Outside, the night was cool and still. I breathed deeply. Not relief, release. I thought about my brother, about loyalty, about silence mistaken for weakness. I didn't feel anger anymore, just clarity. Some people only respect strength when it threatens them. Others never deserved explanation in the first place. I walked to my car, started the engine. The engagement music faded behind me. I didn't look back because I didn't need their recognition anymore. I already had something better, control. And for the first time in a long while, I felt nothing at all.